We did the Western Conference first last time in terms of predictions. So why don't we go over to the East and start with uh Cheater Crybaby FC, aka FC Cincinnati. Um Bribers too. They bribe the referees.
Anything
Versus
else? Anything else to throw in there?
not that I can say on the podcast, but
Oh,
once we
okay.
once we stop recording.
Okay.
Um and then they take on Philadelphia. It is at Cincinnati. Again, Cincinnati missing Matt Miazga and Nick Hagland suspension injury, respectively. Philadelphia missing Kai Wagner. I kind of want to hear where your brain's at with this.
So I when I originally put the bracket together, I'll kind of just jump right to where I had it. So I had FCC going through. I think Philly wasn't in great form coming into the playoffs. Round one, they're playing against a New England team in turmoil. So yes, New England aren't just like walkovers, but it also wasn't a very difficult test for them in the first round. FCC is going to be a difficult test. Lucia Costa, Brandon Vasquez are not going to be the same level of attack that they went up against in New England. I am worried about the injury suspension issue at the center back position, especially because they play three center backs, I think. So who's even the next man up there? Do you play Ray Gaddis as a center back then?
Well, that's kind of where I was going to break down my prediction, but I can jump in if you'd like.
Go for it.
Um,
Transition.
yeah. So here's the way when I watched them in Cincinnati, when they did a rotated look, it was Mosquera, Miazga, Hag. You're missing two of those players now. When Haglund got hurt, Ian Murphy filled in. He was the next guy up. So now you're looking at either switching to a four back, which they haven't done a lot of, and keeping Mosquera and Ian Murphy together with Arias, Powell, Gaddis, whoever. Or you're looking at a three back still and either moving. My guess is they'd move Gaddis to a right center back role, Mosquera on the left with, or Mosquera in the middle with Murphy on the left, or flip flop them and then keep Arias and Barreal on the wide spots. That'd be my guess because I think Ray Gaddis has enough de je ne sais quoi.
I have no idea.
Professionalism.
Okay. I didn't
Professionalism.
know
That's the
where
word
you're
I'm
going
looking
with that.
for. Um, to be able to adapt to that role a little bit and just learn from what other people were doing. I don't think they're going to go run out Joey Akpuno, who they drafted this year, or London Aghedo. Don't think either of those guys are going to be a part of it. So I think it's either Powell or Gaddis who fills into that spot. I don't think they go four back here, especially with the two striker situation that Philly brings. Now, Philly, on the other hand, are missing two of their own big defenders in, as we mentioned, Kai Wagner, one of the best left backs in the league, and Mr. Jacob Gleesnes with an injury that is going to take him out for the majority of the playoffs. My guess is the entire playoffs. So when they lined up against New England last game, it was Mbaizo, Harriel, Elliott, and Lowe in the back. They also didn't start, and I'm assuming it was for uh, yellow card accumulation because, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here. No, it can't be. Julian Carranza came off. Maybe it was for injury in the first game because he wasn't even on the bench for the second game. So I'll have to look into that. But Carranza didn't play. It was Quinn Sullivan and Mikael Ura with Gazdag behind him, and then Bedoya got a 90-minute run as well. This is going to be a really interesting test personally for me because of the amount of missing pieces. I am interested to see what FCC can do to pull something out here. That being said, I am going to stick with the prediction that I made in the conference semifinals when I had Philly and RBNY playing, and I've got Philly going through here. When, and the reason is this, when Cincinnati played Red Bull and they did that rotated squad thing, they very easily keyed in on the pressing cues of the two players who didn't play a lot, which was at first Nick Hagland, and then Ian Murphy was the second pressing cue when they flipped him at halftime. They now have two different spots that they can do that in with Ian Murphy again and um, whoever it may be, whether it be a four back or whatever. And I think Philly's, Jim Curtin's going to be able to be successful with that. And also Cincinnati has a supporter shield curse. So they're looking for some random way to go out. So I'm going to go Philly here.
Well, I'm very happy you went Philly because now I feel much more comfortable in my prediction to go with FCC.
You're a loser.
I didn't realize that Gleesnes was also out, but I guess that's kind of it kind of evens it out. Both of them missing two defenders, so
Yeah, and then it's who comes forward in the attack, right? And I'll be honest with you, Bupensta, not he scored against us, yeah, but when we were able to set our defensive block, he wasn't impressive. He didn't do well against us when he started in the first game when we were in Cincinnati. I think that Elliott can lock him up. Damian Lowe is very Andres Reyes like, where he will just beat him physically. Um, so that leaves you then Lucia Costa with Baji or Brandon Vasquez, and Brandon Vasquez got shut down uh, against us. Now, can he do better against other people? I don't know. But as Jason said while we were watching the game, Jesus Ferreira clear. So, I mean, I don't really know what more to say. Jesus Ferreira clear.
Jason gets it. He gets
doesn't.
it.
he didn't say anything about that about Tom Barlow. That's all I'm saying. So if we're talking about USMNT third best striker, Tom's got a goal in the playoffs. Jesus Ferreira has a penalty, and we know those don't count. So, yeah,
I
Greg, get
the,
on the phone.
the only thing I will say to end it off is if Philly, in my opinion, if Philly want to go through, Mr. Pozdog is going to have to step it up because it's been a rough year for him outside of the penalty spot.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So your predictions FCC, mine's Philly.